I do want to say that we really do appreciate you spending your time here with us. If anyone knows me or has been following me for any amount of time, you know that time is my highest value, as I think everyone's is, but I talk about it a lot. And the last thing we want is to have you waste time. So if you've really got value from this, and this definitely hasn't been a waste of time for you, let us know, because that really does, it really does show the kind of fair exchange here, and it inspires us to continue to put as much energy as we do into these events, because we do ram pack them. You know, it's 4 hours or 3 to 4 hours every day. Plus all of the kind of back end stuff that goes into these events to give you guys 100% free value. So the last thing we want you to do is feel like you're wasting your time. So hopefully you've got at least a nugget, which is what I said at the beginning. If you go away for one nugget, that's it. Hopefully you got a couple more nuggets than one, but also hopefully you can see how it's all rolled in order for a reason now, how we've structured this event so that we've taken you from literally an assessment of your trading. And the first question on that assessment was, why, am I going into trading the right reasons? Which Darren just touched on just now. It might be for you, it might not be for you. And we try and iron that out as early as possible so that people who are left with us now, and by the way, don't tell anyone I said this, but you're the best group we've ever had. And I don't say that to all the girls. You really are the best group we've ever had. And I mean that. But that's why we structure it this way. And even if you've been to a few of these events, you'll realize that actually sometimes things don't sink in until you've heard. They say that they don't hear what you say until you say it 7 times. And sometimes things just don't sink in. And you rewatch and something hits you a little bit different, and all of a sudden the penny drops, and it's such a great feeling, which is why we don't deviate from the same message every single time we do these, because we as I said on day one, we deliver these with timeless approach, timeless principles that are in favor of mathematics, logic, human evolution, human psychology, so that it all fits together and it all makes sense. There's no fluff, there's no showmanship, there's no gimmicks. It is just one message and one objective. And I'm going to be talking about the objective right now. And I want to talk about how you can take the next step in your trading, what you need to focus on, what you need to consider, and potentially how we can help you as well, so that you can follow the same path as Cody and many of our other traders. Now, before I talk about that, I just want to reiterate something what Cody said. There were some questions talking about funding, and obviously that's an objective for some traders because they think funding's a great way to get to boost your account, to accelerate returns, etc., etc. What people fail to see a lot of the time is once you're profitable, because at the moment a lot of people feel like trading's a little bit risky, they're not that confident in it, so the last thing they've got confidence in is funding their account. However, if you learn to trade the right way and you've got all of the underpinning tools and support that you possibly need, and you're 100% confident in your system, something happens to your mindset. Something happens to your approach to trying to fund an account. Who would say here that, well, you guys tell me, who's had a child and at the time you thought there's no way we can afford a child right now? I'll put my hand up. Right. And the truth is, no one teaches you how to be a dad. No one teaches you how to be a parent. And you think, I'm not ready. Like, this is not the right time. And you don't have the confidence in parenting until what? You have the kid. And then guess what? You've got to do it. And funnily enough, your values shift. It all works. It all works out. You afford everything. You afford the nappies, the diapers. You afford the food, the school. You afford everything. Because you've got a confidence and you've got a drive and a cause that's greater than you. Okay? Now, the same thing goes with trading. I mean, before I go into trading, who's taken on who's bought something in the past, maybe a holiday, or they've wanted a dream holiday, or they want some nice car, and then they've gone and got it. And at the time of the purchase, you thought that you've bit off a little bit more than you can chew. And it's a bit risky, but after you've got it, it's like, yeah, you just make it work. The same goes for your trading. When you have the confidence that you can generate a return, your mind shift changes towards how can I possibly fund this account with as much money as possible. So instead of thinking, I'll get my spare change and put that in my account because I don't want to lose too much, all of a sudden you're now thinking, I've got a fruit machine where I know if I put a certain amount in, I get a certain amount out. And it's a completely different mindset. All of a sudden, you're searching high and low, and guess what? You find money. When you get that confidence, you find money. Not only from in your environment, but people around you who want to give you money to invest and trade. Throw their money at you. You guys know I'm doing a big property development over in the Algarve. It's 53 million euros. Actually, the sales total 59 million euros. And people think, well, how can you possibly do something like that, without having a load of money to foot up? You can, because there's lots of people out there desperate to get a return on their money. We literally went out and found 9 million euros to kick the thing off from one investor. So the money's out there, and there's never a shortage of money. There's only a shortage of confidence and imagination and creativity. There's never a shortage of money. So I want that to excite you, because trust me, what I said before, the first 100K is the hardest. Once you get past 100K, it's very, very easy. It's the same skill, same mindset, same system, as we said before. So I wanted to start on this little message here that says, if you cannot measure it, you cannot master it. And I wanted that to linger on from yesterday's session, because this is the truth. If you're not making progress, it's because you're not progressing. Oh, there's no screen share? Come on. Come on. Let's get rid of that presentation. Sorry, guys. It would help if I screen share, wouldn't it? It's okay. The recording's screen sharing, so don't worry. All right. You guys should be able to see that. Give us a yes. Good. So if you cannot measure it, you cannot master it. And it all boils down to this. It's if you're not progressing, it's because you're not tracking. You've got no reference material. You've got nothing to reference how you're going. So I'm an engineer. I talk in terms of engineering, and I talk in terms of PID loops and integers and proportional gain and all this kind of stuff, which makes no sense to anyone. But let me make a very, very simple analogy for you. If you're in your car, okay, and the speed limit is 30 miles per hour, your senses that you need to allow you to, if you're doing 20 mile an hour, you put your foot on the gas, which is your sense of touch, you push down on the gas and the car speeds up, and the speedometer is the reference point, okay? And the speedometer goes to 40, 30, 20, 40, 30, until your senses and your progress of the progression of your foot on the gas maintains a level of 30 degrees. Why? Because you've got the reference point. If you didn't have the dial or the speedometer, you really wouldn't have a clue. And you might be doing 30 sometimes, 50 sometimes, 20 sometimes, 30 sometimes, depending if you're going uphill, downhill, round corners, on a freeway, motorway, whatever it might be. And it's very difficult to maintain consistency, let alone make progress. Okay, making progress, that's what they call it when you do your motorbike test. If anyone's a motorbike enthusiast, making progress. That means that you're making progress around bends. You're becoming more confident, more in tune with the speed and taking corners and all the rest of it. So if you're not measuring anything, you can't progress, let alone master it. And I wanted to drill that in because a lot of traders have been going around in circles for years, not making any progress. And the biggest kick in the teeth that I always say to people is you only owe it to yourself, and no one cares. Like, no one cares if you do this or not. You're the one that's spent 4 days here so far. And when you leave this event, no one else cares. No one else cares if you came to this event or not. And they don't care if you become profitable, and they don't care if you win or lose. So just really ponder on that. No one's going to support you. No one really going to support you because they're all looking out for themselves. Everyone's looking out for themselves. Everyone's asking the question, what's in it for me? The whole time. Every time everyone's alive. That's the whole, what's in it for me? When you get in a relationship, what's in it for me? Right? When you get a job, what's in it for me? So when you really fully understand that, and you understand, well, it's only you against the world here, and if you're not measuring it, you're not making progress, hopefully that can kind of give you the encouragement or a bit of a kick up the butt to move forward. All right. So what we just asked Cody why he wanted, what his plans were and what he wanted to do it for, and where he sees himself in a few years. I want to ask the same question to you guys. So why do you want to be a trader? Why do you want to trade? Let us know. Type in the comments, and the level of vulnerability of opening up here and laying your cards on the table to everyone is really going to have a profound impact on your mindset. We touched on this in the assessment, but I just want to know why you guys are doing it. We asked you on day one. Now you've had the chance to see real insights into all this, whether your mind's changed, or whether the answer's deeper now. Whether there's more to it, more substance to it now. Maybe there's less substance to it now. Financial freedom, time freedom, another income stream, more time, free up time, time freedom, travel, mobility freedom. A lot of people said mobility, right? I love trading, addicted to it, says Eddie. Flexible to work, so mobility freedom, travel, mobility freedom. Great. So, look at that. Gate for another business and passive income stream, time freedom. Wow. Everyone sharing. Okay. I'm here to tell you that you can definitely do it, and I want to talk about taking action. And before I talk about taking action, I want to explain why we get such good results at Tier 1 trading for our traders. Darren just mentioned, this last year or two is when we've really seen the traders come out the gate. And guess what? We started Tier 1 in 2017. We launched it in January 2018, which has been 9, 20, 21, 3.5 years, which is what? The sweet spot. In the last year, 18 months to 2 years of really training the right way and going from A to B as efficiently as possible. That's what we said. When we opened Tier 1 in January 18, we said in about 2 years' time, we're going to see you guys that are coming through be profitable, consistently profitable, because that's the time it takes. So it's no surprise to me, and it's probably no surprise to Darren or Akil or Charles, that has happened in the last year, because that was expected. That's how we planned it. And what we did is we actually built a platform with something quite phenomenal in mind, really. It was how can we build a platform that underpins the common trader issues so that if anyone gives up in trading, because they've got everything they can possibly need and support them along their journey and there's nothing missing, the only way that they could give up is if they literally, the only way they can fail is if they give up because it's not for them. So that's what we did. And we set to work on building a platform that underpins all of the 6 common problems in traders so that there was no way to fail other than to give up. And the only way you give up is you realize it's not for you. So it's a win-win because you don't end up blowing loads of money. But at the same time, if you do want to go all in, you've got everything for you. That's really what we wanted to deliver. And we delivered it with 3 clear milestones in mind. Because if we didn't have a focus for an objective ourselves, we wouldn't be able to get such great successful results with our traders. So we really shut out the noise and said, well, what is the most important milestones for traders? And if we could build a platform that underpins all the problems and focus on getting to them with those 3 milestones as quickly, as efficiently as possible without wasting time and wasting money, then that's a winning formula. Turns out it is. The first milestone is a first live trade. This is a massive milestone for a trader. And I'm not talking about downloading an app and clicking buy and sell. I'm talking about when you go out confidently and you place a trade for the first time after putting in all the work and you feel like a professional and you go out and you place that trade as a professional. Who's done that here, by the way? And you go out and you do it and you place the trade. It's a different feeling, isn't it? It's a different feeling when you get to that point where you're live and you're professional because you're treating it completely different. It doesn't matter if it's profitable or not. It's your first live trade. It's a different feeling than before. And that's a massive milestone because at that point, it means you've done all the back testing, all the forward testing. You're confident in your system. You understand risk management, money management, and you're going to place a trade as a professional trader. That's a massive milestone, probably the biggest. That's milestone number 1. The second milestone is withstanding a first drawdown. So who's done this? Who's gone live? When I placed my first trade as a professional, about 4 weeks later, I had less money in my account than I started with. Okay. And then on the 5th week, I went into profit, new profit. And it was at that point that I trusted my system 100%. And I can tell you, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't trust it 100% until that happened. Withstanding a drawdown is one of the biggest milestones in any trader's initial journey. Once you've done one, you can do it again and again and again. And yes, they go, some are heavier than others, but withstanding that first drawdown gives you a new belief system. Okay. Now, there are times where traders come out the gate and they're just getting luck of the wins. And then they hit a drawdown and sometimes they're even worse because they got cocky at the beginning. But just whatever way you go about it, overcoming that first drawdown is absolutely crucial part of the journey. And then finally, income replacement. Many of you guys have just said you would like income replacement, whether that's a supplementary income, whether it's a primary income, whether it's an extended income, whatever it might be. That is a massive milestone. So we just said very clearly, we just want to get people to place their first trade live as a professional. We want them to withstand the drawdown with all the support that they possibly need. And we want them to replace their income in some way or develop a new income stream. So if we can be laser focused on those 3 milestones and build a platform that supports and underpins all of the problems, we're onto a winner. So I wanted to share that with you so you know that there's a lot of substance behind what we've done here and why we're getting the results we're getting, why we've got the reputation we've got, and why we're not seen as a joke or a meme or some kind of you know the ones. You know the ones. So what I'd love to do for you guys, if it's all right with you, is share with you exactly what is involved in the tier 1 trading program and the process, so that if you guys decide to work with us, you can see the full commitment, you know exactly what's involved, you guys can ask questions, and you get the opportunity to come and work with us as a priority. And I'd love to share that with you. And I want to take my time to do that. So if that's okay with you, let me know and I will move forward. And before I share with you what's inside our amazing platform, I want you to ponder on something. I do this all the time with our traders when we do these events. I want you to ponder on, everyone just said time freedom, okay? How many answers just said time freedom? God, I don't know, probably 20, 30 when I asked that question. I want you to ask yourself how much your time's worth. This is something we should all be doing when we're making decisions of delegation and prioritization and making purchases, whatever you're doing. How much is your time worth? And how much time are you spending doing something that would be cheaper to do if you was to put money into it instead? All right. So we know that anyone who goes to learn something online or on YouTube, it takes about, as a minimum, 4 times longer than it would do with a mentor or a coach or a program with a specific layout, okay, a roadmap. We know this. We know it takes longer to learn. So with that said, let's just say that anyone who's on a regular job or has got another job or running a business, okay, let's just say you value your time at $30 an hour, all right? And for 4 hours a week, 4 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're able to dedicate to trading. That's a lot, by the way. 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're going to be spending $840 per week, okay? Now, the average trader takes about 6 months to learn a strategy, all right? So after 6 months, that's 21,168. But we know it takes 4 times longer if you're messing around on YouTube. So just at a $30 an hour doing 4 hours a day is actually worth $84,672. Make sense? This is how I see things. This is how I work things out. And this is how I work things out when I'm building businesses as well. You know, what's the highest profit action that we could work on? I don't want to be spending time doing clicky things. So this is true. Like, this is a $30 an hour work. All right. So that's without spending money in the market. So all I want you to do is ponder on that and think about how much your time's worth.